Hey coaches, appreciate you tuning in to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you checking out my materials. Feel free to scroll around on this channel. It's got all kinds of materials, whether it's football, scheme-wise on offense, it could be defensive schemes, practice organization, other head coaching materials. Everything on here is free, and if you'd like to reach out to me, you can at fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. If you would like more what I'd call premium material, you can go to my website fbcoachsimpson.com, where I've got some free materials on there, including a magazine headsets. There's 7 issues now on there, all free. And then there's a couple different books if you're interested in them, or different other materials that you can go visit. It is membership month over at my website, and I am dropping a new book, so I do want to make sure I mention that. If you're interested in learning a little bit about how we raised over $1.5 million for the school I was at, this book walks through the different things that we did. So if you're in that mode and need some help fundraising, it's there. This week is about the art of the tag. I described that in the previous video if you want to go back and watch it, but basically tagging is the ability to subtly change plays by one word that speak to one player. That's what I consider a tag. So today we're going to talk about RPO tags. The previous video we talked about blocking tags. This one is RPO tags, although some of that does involve the blocking. For the sake of the video, I just drew up some kind of strong side run, and I'm only going to deal with backside RPOs. You could take this theory and run play side RPOs as well, but just to keep things kind of simple, I figured we'll just deal with backside RPOs. So these are the different types of tags that we have that seem like a lot. As 9 on the board, and we could probably come up with more if I really wanted to put everything we have out here, okay? However, each of these words talks to one player. It does not change all of these guys. It doesn't change the other guys involved. They run the play called. So for instance, let's say we called whatever run this way fast screen. Okay, so whatever run, and then we tag fast screen. We're going to run a fast screen to our receiver out here. We're going to run the blocking scheme that was called, and the quarterback makes the decision. Okay, that's the base premise. We'll teach that day one. We're doing install. Then we'll start getting into all these other RPO tags that we can run. So I want to deal with kind of starting from the blocking scheme. In our offense, we just try to adjust blocking with one player. So if we're going to run an RPO, let's say that our base rule in this is for him to gap hinge. That's his base. So we don't call anything. Our backside tackle is going to gap hinge, which means block B gap, nothing shows up, hinge back, and take care of whatever shows up off the edge. All right? So if we call nothing, that's what he does. If we want to change his blocking, we use a tag, and that's where the art of the tag comes in. So if we want to change his blocking, we may call a lock call, because his base rule for some of our run plays might be to scoop to backside linebacker. If we say lock, we are telling him you're going to lock onto that D end no matter what. Okay, so if there's a D end that's over here, you're going to lock onto him. You're not going to scoop, you're not going to gap hinge, you have that guy. And we will run that in a couple of our different RPOs that run backside and play side, but it can adjust him. Another RPO we have for him is the word steal. Now sometimes we'll change that word up each year, but the premise is the same. You're going to outside release. So now you're going to leave the defensive end alone. No matter what, you're going to leave him alone. You're going to outside release him, looking for whatever shows up off the edge. So let's say we want to read the defensive end. Okay, we can scoop, block, and read him, or now we can steal, block out here at the outside linebacker, and read that defensive player. So that's where the tag comes in for the RPOs, talking to our blocking. All right? If you come out to receivers, we have different words that talk to them that will incorporate them into the RPO. So if we call, let's say, whatever run, let's just say buck, because that's my favorite run. So we call buck going this way, and we want to read and involve this player, we'll make a peek call, which is a route for him. He's going to run a peek, which is an inside release, running to where the linebacker is, and the quarterback now knows his eyes go to that read. So that's how it incorporates the quarterback in all of these. He now knows I'm looking for that inside pass to throw. If you want to see how we run peek, you can go farther in this video series. I think I've got a whole buck course that you can look at, was recently uploaded, I think. We have bubble call, so we want to incorporate this guy in to run a bubble. It's pretty simple. Or we have what we call like a stick route. We're going to run 5 yards and turn around. And on each of these, we are incorporating the quarterback to make the decision if we get him the ball or not. But we're moving our quarterback's eyes from his normal read out this direction to read somebody over here, which is what the RPO game is all about. We can do the same thing with our X. We can run a fast screen. That's what we started off with. That's usually the first thing we'll put in. Quarterback can throw the fast screen right now. His eyes check out there first. Then he goes to the run. Okay. We can run the peek with our outside receiver. So we can clear it out and run the peek with this guy. And our quarterback knows our eyes go in here, make the same type of read. And he knows we're running the peek, we're involving him. We can run the choice route. A lot of times if he's a single. It could be if he's with doubles. So we're going to clear it out and let him run a hitch or a go or whatever the choices are that we've given him. And that gets our quarterback to look out this direction and how we've incorporated it with the RPO. Then we can blend tags. We can blend tags together. For example, we may run steal where our tackle is going to release outside here. So we're going to read this player first. And let's say we're running fast screens. We have this. So I'm going to go and erase my words up here to make it a little cleaner. So now our quarterback is going to read this player first. If this guy squeezes, we pull it and we attack. And then if we're running a fast screen, we're going to read this player second. So it becomes kind of a blend for our quarterback. We've now taken 2 tags and put them together. We run steal and we run fast screen, which makes the RPO a little bit different, harder for a defense. If we didn't call that, let's say we called a base call, where we're going to scoop release. Okay, we're going to release here, we're going to read here to there. So our quarterback understands kind of how the RPO game is going. If we want to lock, we pretty much are killing the RPO here. A lot of times we can now move the RPO to this player. So now this guy becomes the player, and we may even run a peek with it. So we may run something like lock, peek, and we know we're reading that guy to throw the ball. If we run lock, bubble, we know that we're reading him to run, or we can throw the bubble before the snap. Okay, and I don't want to get into a whole session on my offense. I just wanted to show how using tags can take one play and make a mini, whether that's in the blocking scheme or this video, that's in the RPO scheme. When you start getting tag words for your players, your options for calling offense become endless. It can look overwhelming, but remember the only people having to learn this are 1 or 2 players, and they're only learning, you saw in that, 3 different tags. It's pretty simple to teach. It can be a little bit more difficult to call, but it's a good thing to do. And again, if you'd like to see more on my RPOs, I actually have a whole course on RPOs on CoachTube. You can go there and check that out, or you can go check out a lot of other stuff I've got on my website, fbcoachsimpson.com, or reach out to me or comment in this video. If you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to this channel. I am trying to continue to put out free content for coaches, and your support is very much appreciated. Thank you.